Good morning, everyone. The Todd and Erin Morning stream, getparkdaily.com.
That was very dramatic because it was ponderous. This is going to be such a good day. Okay, first of all, good morning, everybody on Facebook. It is so nice to see you today. Oh, hi. Thank you. You too. Just some of our Burning Man pictures. I'm getting a little nostalgic. Also, good morning to the Morning Mountain Camp brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. That would be electric, plumbing, heating, and air.
The mountains are gone.
This smoke is nasty. So how many different fires are we talking about
27,000.
9,173,
83.
I mean, the one in Weaver, though, was like so random. It came out of nowhere, right?
It's not contained yet.
Still?
Still not contained.
That was extremely scary.
Four structures, including homes.
I thought it was 6.
It's bad, okay?
Okay, 4 fell down, and then 2 more have like a piece of lumber standing up. How's that? It's bad.
It is bad. People lost their homes.
Have we found out why it got started?
Nope.
The cause?
Nope. They're just trying to put it out for now.
You know, it's always amazing to me, too, though, how they actually can, like, pinpoint it down to a certain area. When you've got, like, an 80 bazillion acre fire, I'm like, how would you know? But they are always able to go down to, this guy tripped, and then, like...
Ignition point.
Yeah, it's really weird.
But anyway, so the authorities came down, risked their lives, got everybody to safety. One of the schools was evacuated.
One of the elementaries, yeah.
Just out of, make sure. The air quality, of course. Kids were playing indoors.
Yeah, Zoe wouldn't. This is down in Salt Lake City, but our 6-year-old couldn't go outside and play in the playground yesterday. They said that the air quality was too bad.
So
that's pretty intense.
It looked like the organization went pretty well as far as, crisis situation. But everybody kind of jumped in. But man, did that fire go fast. And then the winds down there, 45-mile-an-hour winds.
That didn't help.
The canyon's known for it, and it's really isolated. So, like, a mile away, you wouldn't even feel it. But in the canyon, it was jumping roads. It was going back and forth. Some vehicles were stuck. But so far, so good. The homes, they can be rebuilt. But
yeah, we were talking to a couple of the fire officials, and I guess you could hear his frustration because at one point, everyone's like, oh, my gosh, I'm so worried. So everyone was trying to race towards their houses, and he's like, if you come here, we can't save your house because we're too busy trying to protect you. And he kept going over and over that, and the roads kept getting clogged to people trying to come back. And I get it. I mean, I would want to know, what my house was doing too. But he said it was it was really frustrating. But the thing that was nice is there was someone there from like literally everywhere. I mean, there were
fire trucks from Guam.
Yeah, seriously, Logan, Provo, everybody was there to help. And I thought that was really nice.
It was good. And people offered their swimming pool water for helicopters.
Pretty cool.
Not sure if they used them or not, I don't know, but they offered it, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like we're seeing all these emergency systems go into gear. I mean, we've got Texas.
Know they work.
We got Irma coming. There's another hurricane behind her, and Irma is a class 5, which is one of the strongest ones, one of the top ones recorded.
I think the highest was 190 degrees. 190 miles an hour for wind, and she's right up there. She's like 185.
185.
Wow.
And they're talking by the weekend, and she's not turning north like they hope to go up the coast, like cutting across Florida. Florida's already in a state of emergency and all that. The thing I don't understand is, and
boy, this is the month.
Maybe this is me, but if you were told that here it comes, we can see it, it's going to be here Saturday morning, what day would you leave?
Well, you have to remember, though, a lot of people, they have work, and maybe their work is not as excited about them leaving. And that's not fair, but maybe that's the reality. Number 2, I lived on the coast for a long time in Virginia. You lived up in Massachusetts.
And?
People get really complacent. They're like, oh, I've sat out that storm. I rode that one out. I'm fine. And you're like, yeah, you're fine right up to the point it's the storm that lands something on your house. And
or your roof tears
and
up.
You can't explain that, but they go, if I've survived this, I'm fine.
Here's my plan. All right, first of all, disposable shed in the backyard, because you know you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
3/4 inch plywood.
So you're hoping that will confuse the hurricane, it will take your shed and it will leave the house alone?
3/4 inch plywood, numbered, labeled, already pre-cut, waiting.
A lot of the really savvy people on the coastline actually do that.
A punch list of things that need to go in the vehicle. You and the kids take off.
Thank you for that.
A couple days early. I stay and work.
No.
Then I jump in to my helicopter, which we can't afford, and zoom off for safety so the house is safe.
There's no way I would ever leave you behind. because you would be up till literally the last second, totally consumed, and you were the man.
Be helping neighbors.
To point out, you're the one yelling at people going, you're supposed to leave. You're supposed to leave when they tell you to. You would totally be the guy that 32 seconds before the hurricane hit went, I wonder if I have time to go outside and nail down that one last thing.
Why is... And then people go to Home Depot and the wood is sold out. It's
How did that happen?
It's a little late. Anyway.
No, everybody has their vision of what they've survived before and what they think is survivable. It's just one of those things.
One of the top storms in recorded history is about to hit Florida.
How did we offend the weather gods this year?
We didn't. Florida and Texas
No,
did.
there's like a group of minor deities that somewhere along the line we all ticked off because they're like throwing everything down the line. And fire, I mean, we may not get the storms, but we definitely get the fire. I mean...
Well, hang on.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. We forgot.
They shot some footage of the fire, right?
Weber fire.
Yeah.
Here it is.
All she could see out of our bedroom window was just flames.
Never experienced anything like that before. It was scary.
All of a sudden, big flame shot up. Our backyard is on fire.
Someone said, hey, there's smoke on the hill. Within 20 minutes, it was from the U down to 89. And they said, get out.
I couldn't believe it got this close to the house.
Devastating. Flames 20 feet tall, come down the freeway, scared the crap out of us.
There's zero containment right now, but 1,200 acres has been burned.
Wow. Well, that'll give you an idea what's going on.
Can you imagine being that person going, well, my house is gone?
Right.
Well, that's not the only thing that hit. This poor thing with the chickens. I'm heartbroken.
Erda is never in the news. Erda, Utah.
Except for today.
Right. So if you're here, Erda's like in this general area.
It's Tooele.
It's
by Tooele.
It's west of Tooele. And so there's an egg farm there, and they lost 300,000 chickens.
How big was that fire?
Big enough. And they had very limited water. And they got there too late, and 300,000 chickens. The guy started this business. He had some grain, and he exchanged it for 50 chickens.
You're kidding me.
Back early in the 1900s.
Seriously? So
built
this has
up
been
the
there for
thing.
like 100 years, and this is what happened?
Yeah. So, Erda. It's just sad.
I'm sorry about the chickens. That's a terrible thing. Man, this has been a brutal summer for wildfires for us, and then to add stuff like this on top of it, it's
Firefighters have been busy.
Well, think about it. The one that literally when Todd and I were driving back home in Nevada from Burning Man, ironically, we literally went by. I've got footage of us going by a fire that was like half a mile away from us at the most. It's burning alongside the highway, and they're like, we're not going to...
There's no way to stop it.
We can't get to it, so we're just going to leave it and hope it burns out. And there were acres and acres and acres. How long did we drive past black scorched
a
earth
long
before we got
time.
out
The
of it?
vehicles that you saw besides the forestry department were companies that replace power poles.
Oh yeah, good point.
They had all the gear just sitting there waiting because the fire goes through, lights them on fire, they fall over, they got to put them back up.
Pyramid Lake Reservation, they had a huge staging area for firefighters there because they were dropping them in at all these random locations. So this has been brutal along the west this year.
Whether you're the people who feed them, maybe you make a valve that the firemen use. Thank you all.
We appreciate it. Really.
We really do.
Okay, I hate to say this, but I'm never happy when someone gets punished, but I kind of am in this case because he was just so out of the control. Do you remember the Salt Lake police detective who arrested the University of Utah nurse?
Yeah, here she is now.
Nicest lady in the world. You can see that she's trying to do her job. She was on CNN yesterday. There he is. He's a charmer. A couple of national shows, and she said, I was trying to stand my ground. She said, this is what you do. And by the way, that charming police officer from the U right there who's just clicking the door open, he's also on suspension because he didn't do jack. And the police department up at the university said, you absolutely should have protected her. That was inexcusable.
So they all came out.
Because they even said, are you going to help me? And he goes, no, that's not my job. So in any case, the interesting thing is this, Jeff Payne, who is the detective, also worked part-time for Gold Cross Ambulance. Ironically, he was also an EMT. Now,
and Denny's too, by the way.
Here's the deal. As he was handcuffing her, he was joking to another officer, body cam, mic still on, and he said, I'll bring them all the transients to the University of Utah because I guess I'm not going to be popular here, and I'll take all the good ones somewhere else, referring to who he would transport.
Right.
Well, Gold Cross heard that. He went, okay, although Jeff was not working for Gold Cross Ambulance at the time of the incident, we take his inappropriate remarks very seriously regarding the patient transports. And we acknowledge these concerned individuals who have contacted us regarding the incident and affirm our commitment to serving all the members of our community with kindness and respect. He is now, he's no longer an employee of Gold Cross as of this moment.
He still has security at Denny's though.
Well, see, there's always something to fall back on. He's got his Grand Slam breakfast. It'll be okay.
I watched
That's all you'll get. But
front page of CNN, front page of Yahoo. Bloggers alone. There's this famous blogger. I can't remember his last name.
Jeff, you love him.
I do. But anyway, he went through and he got a majority of all of the body cams.
Because there were like 6 or 8.
And they keep running, right? So that's public information, and you can pull that stuff. Remember, this happened July 26th. Okay, so he went through and he got it. He broke it down. He broke down what all the cops were saying. He put them together, and he goes boom-ba-dum-ba. It goes right down the line.
It was a very damning piece of information because you hear it and you're just cringing, going.
But you know the good
because
thing,
it was so blatant.
The good thing is it was only 1.5 million people watching it.
Oh, that doesn't even include all of the national and international coverage.
That's one guy.
Yeah, I guess my main thing is that do you really get so power hungry that you forget you're wearing a body mic and body camera? I mean,
this
literally,
includes all the other cops that were with him.
Yeah, you're roughing up a nurse and you're joking about it and handcuffing her over the hood of your car and you're joking about it. It seems to be somewhere along the line. Maybe you should be thinking, psst, I have this camera on to hold me accountable.
On. Camera is on.
Well, he's always got Denny's.
I have to go to the whiteboard.
Tell us what's going on.
We have 2 package of stories today. Because package stories are interesting and they're all no, they're not.
Well, it depends on how it's done, but yes.
All right. So basically, this is the whiteboard. Now, Federal Express.
This is UPS.
Is it UPS? Do a great job.
We love UPS. Our favorite guy, Steve, is a UPS driver.
Yeah, they do an absolute great job. Here you go. You want to tell me some of the story? I'll start drawing for you.
It's a man in California. He's on 5th floor of his apartment building.
Don't tell him where it was put, by the way, yet.
Jesse Lawrence, and he showed a picture on Twitter Sunday that a UPS worker had left a tall rectangular box for him.
Here's the door.
At his doorstep.
Now, it's important to know that his door handle is a lever. That's what Daisy would call it, or a lever.
A lever.
A lever. So when this opens, it goes down.
Now, I'm sure he just stuck it like in the middle, and it just sort of probably fell to the side, got caught on the door jamb. And
UPS driver took the long package and put it here. Perfectly fitting underneath the lever that opens his door.
So Jesse Lawrence was literally trapped in his own in his own flat. And the sad part is that he couldn't get a hold of the building supervisor, so he started calling friends. He couldn't get a hold of any of his friends.
Right.
So then he started doing Twitter and said, "Hey, is anybody available to come and remove the box in front of my door?" So he eventually got a friend who did it, who was laughing and took a picture of how it was wedged before he bothered to rescue Jesse. But that's like the least helpful UPS delivery ever.
That is so funny. Here, this will be safe here.
Kinda, I guess so. All right, coming up next, we've got Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you, of course, by Fink and McGregor. Fink-McGregor.com. If you go there, they've got a 4-minute mortgage challenge. You run through some of the questions. It will give you some ideas of some of the mortgages you're available for, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within 1 business day. Also by Executive Transportation, the official limo service of the Todd and Erin Morning Stream. I heard great reports, by the way, from the Christopher's Drive on Saturday. They said they had the best time with March and his limos. And, of course, by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. This is 24-hour service. You can reach them by going to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on?
Hello everyone, here's what's making headlines Wednesday, September 6th on GepHardtDaily.com. I couldn't believe for a second that it was September already. It was a restless night for residents of Davis and Weber counties after a fast-moving wildfire forced more than 1,000 people from their homes Tuesday. The Uinta fire at the mouth of Weber Canyon burned more than 600 acres and destroyed at least 4 homes. The fire was 0% contained as of late Tuesday night, and firefighters say it still poses a very real threat to nearby communities. 100 plus firefighters are battling the blaze. Air tankers and helicopters are fighting the fire from the air. Salt Lake City Police Detective Jeff Payne, the man who made headlines worldwide following his heavy-handed arrest of a University of Utah nurse, has been fired from his part-time job as a paramedic. Gold Cross Ambulance released a statement Tuesday saying Payne had been terminated effective immediately. The Salt Lake City Police Detective and a second SLCPD employee are on administrative leave while being investigated by the Salt Lake District Attorney's Office and Salt Lake PD's Department of Internal Affairs. And a Utah judge has ordered Warren Jeffs, leader of the polygamy-based FLDS Church, to pay $16 million to Elisa Wall, a woman he pressured into marrying his cousin when she was just 14. The action comes from a civil suit filed by Wall, who said the arranged marriage nearly ruined her life. Jeffs is currently serving a life sentence in Texas for sexually abusing 2 underage girls. Wall's attorneys said they'll go after his assets both in Mexico and southern Utah. And now here's a quick look at the Wasatch Front forecast. Well, we will be a bit toasty with temperatures in the high to mid 90s for the next 3 days. Lows will be in the upper 60s and lower 70s. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GebhardtDaily.com. And Todd and Erin, back to you.
You're looking especially blonde today, Daisy. Delightfully blonde, as a matter of fact.
All right, I want to talk about all Utah plumbing, heating, and air, and sprinklers, and licensed and contractors, and they can remodel as well. They got a beautiful green truck, and it's full of stuff that's going to fix your problems. Now, it started off in the spring really heavily on sprinklers. And then, of course, the heat came on. There's John. And the heat came on. AC was really important. They also are going to pay attention to your hot water heater. They are also, because they drain it, it makes it last longer. Did you know that? And then, of course, when he goes in, like if you're buying a new house, they can come in. They will put a camera down your sewer line, and that's not a metaphor. They actually do that. And then they check out the furnace, actually get their head in there and find out what's going on. They're there for you, allutahplumbing.com, for all the information that you have. All right, so, being a celebrity isn't always that much fun.
Do we know any of those?
No. So, but Madonna, she had an issue.
Well, this is actually pretty funny. It's not like you don't know what she looks like. We haven't, had a day without a picture of her since, 1980?
Right.
As a matter of fact, my friend Dr. Molly is obsessed with Madonna, and she's been like her first class, fan club girl forever. She's at the front row of every concert. This is the kind of passion. I mean, Molly's like an OBGYN, for heaven's sake, and this is the kind of thing you get these really established people who are madly in love with her.
All right, so just to clarify one more time, I've never seen someone so ravenous about some star. She goes to literally every concert. They have a special seating area for them up front at every concert. She knows all the other people that hang out with her and enjoy the performances of Madonna at every single concert.
I can tell you, though, that apparently being popular has nothing to do with getting packages. FedEx, Madonna was so frustrated, she actually tweeted, when you've been arguing with FedEx all week that you really are Madonna and they won't release your package.
There's the package. I'm Madonna.
And it says hashtag, which please, because she's that frustrated. But apparently, they literally do not believe that it's Madonna. Everything's been, mailed to her. It's Madonna Cicerone. I can't pronounce her last name.
Right. Doesn't matter. She doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, but apparently they won't believe it. So she's actually been on the line. She's had her agents on the line. She's had her assistants on the line. Everyone's like, no, I swear to God, this is her. This is her driver's license. It has her address on it. They're like, that's a fake. We don't believe you.
Ever seen when they have the president call for stuff, or call to say hi to a deli owner, or order flowers for Michelle or something like that, and
hang up on him every time, like, quit kidding around.
Yeah, I'm busy here, click.
So it's very sad. Apparently there was some fairly urgent stuff. I think there were some jewelry items that she was waiting for, and they refused to release them because you're not really Madonna. You're not.
That's funny.
That would be sad to be at that point, though, where you are so famous that people are like, there's no possible way.
I'm surprised that people
you would have human functions.
Just hand deliver it to you from Guam.
You know,
fly over.
for Madonna, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they could give it to Dr. Molly. She would drive it there.
Got comments about Christopher's yesterday.
Oh, that's
Ran
nice.
into one of our winners, and she complained. She complained about
Are you
Christopher's.
kidding me?
No,
That's impossible.
no, because it's ruined her.
Oh.
It's ruined her, and her husband is freaking out now because he doesn't know any other place he can take her that she would love more. So it's going to be Christopher's for the rest of their lives, for every occasion at Christopher's, because it's incredible. How did they get to Christopher's?
Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, they just basically entered the big thank you, which is embarrassingly easy. We love you. We're so glad that you're still with us on the morning stream. And by the way, I'm amazed at how many people and how long you listen, because you must have a very high pain threshold, because it's getting longer and longer as the views are getting bigger and bigger, and I'm kind of excited by that, but
Right.
thank you. So all you have to do to enter to win dinner for 4 at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, along with limo service from Executive Transportation, is you go to one of our Facebook pages. You can go to Todd and Erin, Gephardt Daily, or Gephardt Approved. Just make a comment right now. We'll know when you're watching, so we'll know that we were talking about Christopher's, and you're automatically entered. It's just that simple.
Okay, good. Do that.
Just make a mention. You're good to go.
You've got the worst date ever.
Okay, no, this goes so beyond.
Coming up.
This is so beyond worst date ever. This is so beyond the most horrible thing that can ever happen to you, the most best publicized horrible thing, the most awful date that will guarantee this woman will never go out on another date for the rest of her life.
On my show, it says worst date ever.
She will never go out on another date ever.
That's coming up next.
Ever. Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
I go to kiss and you push me away.
That's not gonna happen.
The shenanigans we have in our bedroom. What was the cameraman doing? Never mind. All right,
Best not to ask those
worst
things.
date ever. You have to prove this to me.
This can't even.
Okay.
I don't know how you can top this for the true horror of this situation.
You have to prove it to me. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's the weird thing. We discovered about this because it was on GoFundMe.
Okay.
This is a story about
Okay.
replacing a broken window. A man raising funds to replace his broken window
So far, not
on
impressed.
GoFundMe.
Well,
Here's the explanation. I
Okay.
recently took a girl I met on Tinder to Nando's. We had a lovely evening and enjoyed each other's company very much.
doesn't sound like the worst date ever.
After our meal, we repaired back to my house for a bottle of wine and a
Hold the pictures for a second, guys.
Scientology documentary. About
Okay,
an hour
okay.
in,
Now it's starting to get worse.
my date got up to use the toilet. She returned with a panicked look in her eyes and told me she had something to tell me.
Okay, no, wait. Stop there. We are now marching towards the edge and jumping into the worst date ever.
I went for a poo in your toilet, she said, and it wouldn't flush. I don't know why I did this, but I panicked.
Stop.
I reached into the toilet bowl, wrapped it in tissue paper,
Stop.
and threw it out the window.
Out the window.
I was understandably concerned, says the guy, and told her we would go outside, bag up the offending poo in the garden, bin it, and pretend the whole sorry affair had never happened. Now, you have to remember...
Okay, can you stop just for a 2nd And let me say, that could happen.
Now, I would like to be honest. I don't know how it is with guys, but for women, we would like you to not know that we ever actually pooped for at least a year into the relationship. And I don't even know if you remember this, but when we were dating, that is something I would have never done at your place, ever. It's a girl thing. We have issues. It's just a thing.
What do you go out in the shrubs?
So all I'm saying is that for her, for this first date, I feel so badly for her because that's just like the worst thing. So I understand her panic. So back to the story. He says,
These are so weird.
So let's go back to the story. He says, unfortunately, owing to a design quirk of my house, the toilet window does not in fact open to the garden, but instead into a narrow gap of about 1.5 feet, separated from the outside world by another non-opening double glazed window. It was into this twilight zone that my date had flown her poo. Here are two
There you
windows
go.
to illustrate the offending package in the window.
So it's over. She threw poo in his house. That's
As can
it.
be seen in the picture, the inside window opens at the top to a gap that is separated from the garden by a non-opening double glazed
All right,
window.
I got it.
Seeing only one solution, I messaged our group chat house and then went upstairs to find a hammer and chisel to smash open the window. Now, my poor date, to her great alarm, had other ideas. Being an amateur gymnast, she was convinced that she could...
Stop for a second. What is an amateur gymnast? Is she just flexible and popular?
Maybe she knows how to do back handsprings. I don't know.
Okay.
But she was convinced she could reach into the window and pull the poo out using the tried and tested inside-out blag as glove technique. Unfortunately, she could not reach. She climbed further in and then had the same problem. She is upside down
Right.
in the window.
With her head near
Well,
the
you
poo.
notice that she at least used the bath mat so she could kind of protect her poor body from...
But her head's right by the poo.
So she climbed in head first after her own turd, reached deeper into the window, bagged it up, passed it out over the top and back into the toilet from whence it came.
Right.
He's quite a storyteller. She called out to me to help her climb back out of the window, so I grabbed her waist and I pulled, but she was stuck fast, and try as we might.
Mm-hmm.
We could not remove her from the window. She was stuck fast upside down into the gap. Could you show the picture again to illustrate the plight of this?
Plenty of
unfortunate
time to
babe?
take a photo of her, though.
Apparently, so look at her face. Oh, and look at her arm, like, oh, that's so horrible.
She's trying to stay away from the poo.
Unfortunately for my date at this stage, I could only see one way out of her predicament. She had been upside down in the window for about 15 minutes, and I was beginning to grow concerned for her health.
It's not a good thing being upside
This
down.
is exactly like Something About Mary. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Prom date? Yeah.
So what happens?
So I called the fire brigade.
Okay.
Bristol, this is England, by
There
the way.
they are.
Bristol's finest were on the scene, sirens blaring in a matter of minutes, and once they had composed themselves after surveying the scene in front of them,
And taking more pictures.
they set to work removing my date from the window using all of their special fireman hammers and tools. It took them about 15 minutes. This is a picture of them working.
Wait, it
Look,
took
you can
50
still see her desperate little feet sticking out. Oh! Unfortunately, although they had rescued my date unharmed from what must have been a rather unpleasant confined space to
Right.
find yourself in the process, they had to completely destroy the window with their special fire tools. Now, he says, I am not complaining. They did what they had to do, but the problem is I have now been quoted north of 300 pounds to replace the window. What is that, like $450? As a postgraduate student, that is a significant chunk of my monthly budget.
How much was it?
300 pounds.
300 pounds, Daisy. What? $400, yeah.
$400 for a window?
Yeah, thanks.
What are they made of in England? Gold? And anyway, as a postgraduate student, that is a significant chunk of my monthly budget. In fact, my monthly budget. So I'm turning to the internet for help. If people could just donate a couple of pounds, dollars, yen, ruble,
And,
North
okay.
Korea won, to help me repair my now broken window, I would be eternally grateful. If the window is not replaced, my landlord may well kill me. So you would literally be helping save a life.
He did put pictures up, so that's worth something.
Oh, and if by some miracle I do manage to raise more money through this page for the cost of the window, any remainder will be split 50-50 between two charities. First, Toilet Twinning, a charity building and maintaining flushing toilets in the developing world. 60% of people worldwide don't have access to a flushing toilet, which, if you think about it, really is SHIT. The second, to the firefighters charity. The people who came to the house were brilliant, took everything in good humor, were very professional.
Right.
This call out was pretty funny, but they do risk their life on a daily basis. And the firefighters charity provides financial, psychological, and medical help to the brave men and women who risk their lives for us. Thanks in advance, GoFundMe. He says, I'm keeping myself and my date anonymous for fairly obvious reasons.
And $2,047?
Pounds.
Oh, pounds.
So that's what, like about 3,000? Good
That's
for you.
That's
So
ridiculous.
You get the window replaced. You get money for the charities.
Is there like one guy in England who can fix windows and he's in demand?
Apparently so. This is
That
the
does
one
not
thing.
look like a 2,000.
Look at her. Oh my God. My
The
heart
question-
is dying because this to me is like,
Right.
I would just go kill myself. I mean, I would walk into the ocean because there's nothing left for you at this point. I'm upside down, wedged in a window, grabbing my poo. It's like you're dead. There's no other reason to live now.
Did he get the money? Is there anything about that?
He says, oh, by the way, I'm keeping myself and my date anonymous for fairly obvious reasons.
Right.
She knows about the GoFundMe page and is cool with it, so please respect our privacy. So
Right.
he did get the money. He got the window replaced,
Whoa,
and he's
whoa.
now distributing money to the charities.
Privacy. He took pictures of her.
You can't really tell who it is, but I would know in my heart, and I would still want to kill myself.
I wonder if they got lucky.
I can't.
Let's move on.
No. She's never having sex again in her lifetime. Trust me.
She'll probably never poo again. Gordon Hayward.
Hayward.
Hated by more than...
All of us hate him now.
I know. Tell us why.
Well, you have to remember, he was the reason we got into the playoffs. I mean, all the Jazz played magnificently. We love you all. But he was kind of our leader. He got us into the playoffs. And
Right.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time since the whole Stockton to Malone thing where we all kind of were like kings of the world. And now
May I say...
we've really...
When
we
Malone,
waited for this for a long time.
When Malone left and everybody wished him well, I thought you were all up in the night because it was like, well, he deserves to go get a ring. It's like, screw that. He's with us. This is like being in the army and having your sharpshooter decide he's going to go play for the other side.
It doesn't matter. The point is this.
It doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to dislike them now.
Well, but he did his job for us. He did everything he humanly could to
And
win
now
us
he
a
works for
ring.
the other team and beats us.
It was for 1 year when it was the worst year of his life. He's in the middle
Hayward.
of the Lakers controversy. Now he's in Mississippi with his wife and 4,700 children, all by himself,
Back to
in a
this.
gigantic log cabin the size of the White House.
That he can shoot squirrels in.
But
He said that, by the way.
He did. But the point is this. There are a lot of players that kind of left a sour taste in our mouths. Like
Right.
Carlos Boozer. You may remember Darren Williams, where everyone was like 100% behind him, and he claimed he had to move to L.A.
Right.
for medical treatment for his daughter, and then all of a sudden joined up with the Lakers, and we're
Right.
like, okay.
We had
So-
a nanny like that. And she said she had to quit because she had to go teach English in China. And we saw her 2 months later at Dan's.
But his is a lot more heartbreaking, let's
Go
be
ahead.
honest. And so you remember that on July 4th he made the announcement, and we had actually seen that Instagram picture of his 3-year-old daughter wearing a Celtics t-shirt a couple of weeks before, so we're all like, this isn't a big
Celtics.
surprise.
Yeah.
It's not the Celtics? Celtics, sorry.
Did
If
you
you're an
really think it was the Celtics?
No, but I was just thinking the English pronunciation. I'm sorry.
Your second favorite team would be the LA Bakers.
In any case, they were asking. They did an online poll asking who public enemy number one was
Yeah.
from all of the people who have left Utah athletics over the years.
And who was it?
Gordon Hayward is number one.
Number one.
We hate you the most.
Sorry.
You have ruined our lives.
We respect your family.
You've crushed our dreams.
You're a madman.
We have no reason to live.
Sorry.
Thank you so much,
Off the list.
Gordon Hayward.
No, no, we don't care.
Public
Don't even
enemy.
show a picture of him.
Public enemy number one.
No, you're dead to me.
Your daughter was very cute in the Celtics t-shirt, though.
Yeah. Family is wonderful. You are a
We
dog.
hate you anyway, though.
Guess what's coming to Salt Lake City?
Tell me.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the trend in the nation. Do you know that, hang on 1 second, I got a number for you, that 1 in 5 U.S. households have cut the cable?
Really?
Say that again.
Man, this is like the 90s when everyone got rid of their landline.
1 in 5.
I had no idea.
Right. And you have lots of choices.
Yeah, true.
You have lots of choices.
And there's a lot like Hulu and Netflix and stuff that have really kind of cut into the power of the cable.
One of the things that people do complain about or concerned about is the DVR feature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they've
on demand.
They've got one. YouTube TV. Now they started off in
Get out.
5 markets, and now they've just in Utah they've added 14. And guess what? Out of those 14, it's not us. So they added 17 more markets, and guess what? It is us.
Finally.
So they are coming here, $35 a month. I thought this was interesting. $35 a month. Customers can stream national channels such ESPN, FX, ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. They can do all that, and then we are the next in line.
So what's the deal though? So what do you get to? You can record all the stuff you like.
Yeah,
what?
you have a DVR option, which a lot of them don't. So that's pretty cool.
That's nice. It's another option because nothing is $35 a month. I don't care what the advertisers say.
Oh, I'm sure it's just going to start at that. You get
No,
4
I'm talking
channels.
about cable. I'm talking about cable and like Dish.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is $35.
It's the
a month.
bead channel. Yay! We have more beads today.
Well, it's kind of cool. Now, I absolutely love this next story because I think the Hotel Monaco downtown does this.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that there would be other places where this kind of service would be needed at a hotel.
I
A
thought
special call-in feature.
Belgium, home of waffles. they have a hotel, and they know that people are on the road. And when you get on the road, I've been on the road for a long time when I did stand-up, and it is really lonely. And
You go back to your hotel after a long day, and you're kind of like, there's no one to talk to.
well, actually, I worked 30 minutes a night, so, and hung out in a bar.
Well, you drove a while to
And
get to
so,
the bar to do stand-up.
You know, you hang around town and stuff, but when you're in a hotel room, you're just in a hotel room. So the Belgian hotel decided that maybe you needed a friend. So what they do is
Okay, isn't that illegal?
not in Belgium, it's not.
Apparently not.
No, not that kind. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
Amsterdam.
Okay.
So what they do is they rent you a goldfish.
No way.
Yeah. You get a goldfish in a bowl, and they take it and put it in your room.
Well, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
No. And then you can just sit there and talk to your fish. Maybe you can Facebook Live and focus on the fish and just do a little fishy Facebook Live thing.
Well, the nice thing about it, I was thinking at first, why not a puppy or a kitten? But you know what? Fish are much more portable, and you don't have to pick anything up.
And they poo in the same place. And here's the funny thing. Activists came and they said, "Oh, this darn fish, that's mean."
They were unhappy about the goldfish.
The bowl is too small. They don't look well. Well, first of all, those are the same fish they've had for 4 years. When they're not in the room in that nicely sized bowl, they go into this huge tank back down in the laundry. Oh, geez. No, on
Getting
the side.
high on the bleach fumes.
Yeah, and they swim around and they just go scoop them out and put them up in the thing. And some people do it as a surprise for their guests that their family's staying
I would
there.
totally order you a fish if you were on the road. That is adorable.
I think it's fun. Some people.
How could you complain about that?
Activists.
Okay, come on. I was an animal activist, but I was
goldfish.
arrested for heaven's sake. But no, I would not protest a fish.
Goldfish are often considered a starter pet because it teaches your kid to be responsible.
We gave away goldfish at our wedding. We had big bowls of goldfish on all of the tables, and people could take the bowl with the goldfish on, but we had to tell them that oxygenating the water to make sure they transported correctly. So I think that we would not have been picketed
Now
by
we're
activists.
going to get picketed now. You
Well,
know
no,
that.
because we knew about the oxygenation of the water.
We're going to get picketed. Like, you're going to trust our friends with that?
It was 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure the goldfish aren't around anymore.
Because of us. Coming up, there is a new king in town, and she's a young girl.
9 years old.
We'll tell you coming up next.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple of years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink and McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
There's something so cool about this story, and Matilda is the 7-year-old's name.
Oh, she's so perfect too.
In England.
Matilda Jones. Could there be a more perfect English name?
Your Majesty. She is the new Queen of England.
Explain why.
Because her and her family, they were out swimming, and this is in Cornwall, in the Bodmin Moor. And they're out swimming and stuff, and the 7-year-old saw something shiny. Now, the funny thing about this is their dad had just told them the story about King Arthur and Excalibur, and the fact
sword
that
and the stone.
the Lady of the Lake
Yeah.
swims up and hands the sword to King Arthur, and then he becomes...
No, he had to pull the sword from a stone, but the lady in the lake is the one who returned the sword back to English soil or water. Anyway, go on.
What was she wearing?
I don't know. That wasn't in the story.
In a clamshell?
No, that's Venus from the Roman mythology, or Aphrodite from the Greek.
She naked?
England's very cold. I don't think she was naked. Those moors are very chilly.
Anyway,
Go on.
she looks down. Her sister goes, "Oh no, that's nothing." And so she kind of wades over. The water's not that deep, and she picks out this 6-foot sword
No
out
way.
of the water. So she is now your new queen. So be nice to her. She's only 7. Her name's Matilda, Queen Matilda.
That's hysterical. Her dad's like, we didn't really think there was anything there. And she's this tiny little creature. And she's
And
holding this
they
massive
just-
sword. It's as tall as she is.
And they thought that was the funny thing because they just talked about it like the day before, so their imaginations are all going. Now, they don't think it's the real one.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And it looks like it had been there for maybe 20 or 30 years. And it was probably a movie plot, a movie prop that they threw back. So they took it and they took it home.
I think you ruined the rest of the story. You could have just left it at Matilda was wielding a big sword.
I want to go back to the Lady of the Lake thing. So the Lady of the Lake comes out of the ground in the water.
No, in the water.
And she gives him a sword.
No,
He
she didn't
shoves
give
it
him the sword. It
into
was in a stone. No, it was already in the
Crabs,
stone.
who put it there?
That's part of the legend. And Merlin says you have to pull the sword out of the stone to prove
Right.
that you're worthy to rule England.
Right. This is like
Great Britain. at
This
the
is
time.
like Thor's hammer. No one else can pick it up.
Bingo. Yeah. And so when King Arthur was killed, the sword went back into...
The Lady of the Lake.
Yeah. Well, it
Which
went
is
back
like-
to her.
like the
not
lost-
in her like they stabbed her
Like
with
lost
it.
and found.
Maybe I should get... Daisy!
Did she come in?
Can you come here for a minute? Yeah. We're having an argument.
Oh gosh.
Here, sit in my chair.
Okay.
We're gonna straighten this out.
All right.
Hope you're good on
I don't
mythology.
know if you caught this, Daisy, but there was an adorable 7-year-old named Matilda Jones who had just been watching the new King Arthur movie with her dad, Guy Ritchie's one that totally flopped at the box office.
Scoot over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in any case, and so her dad was explaining about King Arthur and the sword to her. So they were swimming by their house, and she saw something in the water. She goes, "I think that's a sword." And he went, "No,
Oh, wait,
that's so."
let her
dumb."
say where this happened.
Oh gosh, I haven't heard of that, but Dosmary?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Dosmary Port in Bodmin Moor. Bodmin Moor is lovely.
Yeah.
Cornwall? Cornwall's lovely. Have you been to Cornwall?
No, I love that place though. I've been dying to go forever. It's got all the big cliffs, right? Yes. Well, in any case, so she dives into the water and she pulls out this big freaking gigantic sword.
Yeah.
Now, that's a nice story, but the whole point of this is then Todd gets confused because he's claiming the Lady of the Lake comes out of the water and gives King Arthur the sword, which we both know is wrong because he has to pull it out of the stone
Who put it there?
in order to prove that he was worthy of being king, right?
So you're
I have
English.
something to admit to you guys.
You're British. Come on, answer the question.
Supposed to know mythology.
I was in there desperately trying to Google this story because I knew I was like, they're calling me in, and I don't know that damn story. I don't know it. I know the sword was in the stone.
Right.
I'm getting visions of like Joseph Smith and his like
His glasses.
and all that because it makes no sense. Why was
Right.
it in there?
Right.
Well, didn't he have to pull it out to prove his worthiness? Then everyone else was trying to yank the sucker out, but nobody could get it out because they
And
weren't
as a
worthy.
young boy, he
It
pulls
does
it
make sense that you guys were saying he's like it's like a special connection, like he's
Yeah.
the only one that can do it.
Yeah. And so, didn't it go back to the Lady of the Lake after he was killed?
What was she wearing?
Oh, I can tell you that.
Okay, all right.
The Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
Sort of a medieval dress with sort of batwing sleeves
I
and
love those.
possibly like a helmet or something.
That would look cool.
Is it like a bodice?
Or a crown. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The armored bodice.
Yeah, armored
Kind-
bodice.
kind of impressed with that,
quite
He was
busty, I should think.
totally obsessed with the clamshell and had to explain that was Greek and Roman mythology with
Clamshell?
Aphrodite and
Where did that-
Aphrodite and Venus. Remember, they popped up on the clamshell.
Oh, the
It has
clamshell.
nothing.
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
nothing to do with
Her
British.
dress was diaphanous as well.
Diaphanous. So diaphanous.
Right.
They all wore diaphanous dresses.
I
at
would.
that period of
I know,
time.
right? And then it was wet.
Yeah. You know
from the
what's going to
lake.
happen tonight when you go home? Todd's going to be like, can we recreate? Like, do you have a diaphanous dress?
Of course she
Except
does.
he'll want to
Get
wear it.
in the
That's
bath, and then and maybe get a stone from outside and one of Zoe's little swords if she has a sword, and then sorted. You can video it. We'll play it on the show tomorrow.
We don't video stuff like that. All right. Well, thank you for your historical knowledge.
I love you so
Nice
much.
job.
I should go and finish Googling it right
Here,
now.
you
Thank
take
you for
that one.
embracing your British heritage in order to
That's
educate
funny.
all of us on the show.
Well, that's settled.
The sad part is that she knew we were going to come for her, and she was trying to Google it.
Freaking out, right?
Oh,
She
God, I love
smells
her.
good.
I love her so much.
She smells good, doesn't she?
That's because she's Daisy. Daisy is perfect in every way. She's made of
Interesting.
sunshine and rainbows. And a fine British cheese.
All right, we're going to take a nice deep breath because
Okay.
she's going to go back to work now.
All right, Daisy, of course, is in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you will find all kinds of amazing mortgage options, and you can have someone call you back within one business day. Executive Transportation, that is March with his beautiful fleet of cars taking you anywhere you want to go. He's the official limo service of the Todd and Erin Show. You can reach him at executiveutah.com. And Black Diamond Experts, that are experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. 24-hour service. You'll be glad you called it expert. It is blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my darling, thank you for taking a breath. What is going on?
Hello again, everyone, and thanks for catching me out on English history there, Todd and Erin. Here's a look at national and world news Wednesday, September 6th on GephartDaily.com. Donald Trump's decision to end the so-called Dreamers Act is drawing fire from former President Barack Obama. Obama released a statement late yesterday calling the decision cruel and saying it was wrong to target young people who had done nothing wrong, calling it self-defeating. Trump deferred action on the repeal for 6 months, saying he'll give Congress 6 months to iron things out. The most powerful hurricane in recorded history seems to be taking aim at the U.S. mainland. Hurricane Irma is now a Category 5 storm, packing winds in excess of 185 miles per hour. Irma is just now reaching the Leeward Islands in the eastern Caribbean. Forecasters say if it stays the course, it could hit Florida as early as this weekend. And amazingly enough, there's a tiny bit of good news coming out of hurricane-ravaged Houston. The Texas Lottery Commission says a $1 million Powerball ticket was sold in a supermarket just south of the city. The store is located in a neighborhood that suffered extensive flooding during Hurricane Harvey. The holder of the winning ticket has yet to claim their prize, but we are hoping they will do that soon. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. Okay, Black Diamond Experts, I was just mentioning them, and there's a reason why. It's because I kind of wish they were available in Houston right now because they're desperately needed there because pretty much everything in someone's house in Houston is destroyed from the water. But these are the guys, fortunately, that we at least have here in Utah. And when they show up at your house, especially for a disaster, they're wearing a nice little set of booties. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. And they come into your house and you know who you've got. You feel safe and comfortable. And then they go through the disaster and they get it all cleared up for you. Or maybe it's a bid you need them, something fixed because they do electric, plumbing, heating, and air. So they will give you a bid and they'll say, this is how much it's going to cost. They do the job. They get everything done perfectly. You take a look and go, wow, that looks really nice. Thank you. And they go, great, here's your bill. And it's exactly what they quoted you. So there's none of those nasty surprises because I know I'm not the only person who's received bills where all of a sudden it's like 3 times what they quoted you. You don't get that with Black Diamond Experts. So look, if you want to reach them, it's very simple. Just go to blackdiamondexpert.com and don't forget they are available 24/7 because they know there's going to be a disaster sometime and they're there for you.
All right, so on Facebook, people want to know what are you doing with your hair?
I don't know. I keep playing
Because
with it today.
you're talking about.
No, I keep playing with it today.
No,
like,
no,
I'm not talking about Black Diamond.
They're saying this one.
What was I doing?
You go in the back and you stretch it.
Like that?
Yeah. You were doing that while you were talking about Black Diamond because they came back from the logo and you were pulling your hair straight up like that.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what I was doing.
And sometimes she does this.
My hair has been my constant companion. And I have, I'm ADHD, so I have to have something to fiddle with.
I think it's funny.
And unfortunately, apparently, it's my hair, so I apologize to everybody.
That's what she does.
I apologize.
Part of her charm.
I think my favorite things I found
This is fun.
I don't know what I'm
You're just
sorry.
talking.
Oh.
You're just talking.
Yeah, Amy, I'm really sorry. And Juanita, I have no idea either. I apologize. I'm a moron.
All right. This is the oldest scam in the world.
Explain this because it really is irritating.
Well, everyone worries about being on the road and your car having issues. And this guy this is the reason you have those fears. Is this guy, he just moved into Utah. He's opened a shop now, a repair shop in Nevada. And I've seen other stories about this where the mechanic goes, well, I think you're leaking something. Let me get under there. And they actually go under and they take out an oil can and they'll spray it on stuff to make it look like liquid is coming out of somewhere.
Or worst comes to worst, they've actually poked a hole in something.
Right, and they've loosened a hose or cut it or whatever.
That obviously doesn't happen very often.
No,
most
and
guys
then they
are awesome.
put it on the rack and they bring it up and they go and show you the leakage and stuff. And next thing you know, you're $700,000 or $800,000 into something that you didn't need fixed in the first place. That happens. Also scaring people about their tires. That happens where people are saying, listen, you got another 500 miles. I'm not sure you're going to make
Your
it.
children will not live.
Yeah. And so they do this. So anyway, the guy was in Nevada and they fined him $50,000. This should give you an idea how much extra he's making. This is Wells. And he is in Utah now doing the exact same thing, and the authorities are after him with another sting.
So he basically,
I don't know why they're telling me that they're stinging him right now, because he probably doesn't watch the show.
Well, based on all the activity in Nevada, he doesn't really care whether they're following him or not, so you can say anything you want.
And it really gives a bad image to all the other people who work so hard on your vehicles.
Well, I hate it, though, when you're trapped somewhere isolated and then they tell you, well, you can't go without tires. And
Your belts are going to snap.
And what are you going to do? Especially, I don't know cars. I would be like, okay, I'll call my husband. I mean, I wouldn't know.
And I go, I don't know. I'll call my dad.
No, you know about cars.
So anyway, he's moving to Utah, so watch out.
Nice.
Not really a big story. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's just irritating when you have people like that.
All right, coming up.
Yes.
Coming up, we're going to talk about the reaction of Utah about Trump's decision about the Dreamers.
And by the way, going back to the Houston floodwaters, is there nothing Siri can't do? We'll tell you how she saved a girl's life. It's cool.
It's brilliant.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com.
Okay, so we're going to pull that up?
Well, yeah, don't do the hair thing again. I already said I'm sorry.
It's them on Facebook saying it.
Okay, well, you've probably heard about this, but Utah's Latino legislators are really upset about President Trump's decision about ending the Dreamers Act. And of course, if you haven't heard about this, it's deferred action for childhood arrivals. Essentially, these are children who may have come illegally over the border from one direction or another.
They were brought as kids.
They're babies or children, and they're brought
Sorry,
here.
Mom and Dad, can't go.
Yeah, it's not like it was their choice. It's just happened to them.
And it gives them permits for working.
And so basically what it does is like you reapply every 2 years so we know where you are.
Right.
You apply for a permit to work. And
go to
this
school.
Gives you a chance to go to school and get your jobs. And you know, I talked to an amazing girl here a couple of days ago. She goes to Westminster and she's working on her doctorate.
Right.
And she's doing it in medical imaging. So, and she's already gone through all these really exciting new discoveries about things that are going to help find cancer sooner. And if she hadn't had this opportunity, these things never would have happened.
So what's the reaction locally?
Locally, everyone's just, number one, they're heartsick and they're really upset. But they're talking a lot about what can we do. So most of the Utah legislators have actually been positive about Trump's move. At least that's the statement they've made. But they have tempered it with maybe we could actually get some legislation now that would at least establish it. But Angela Romero said, look, you've got to come together and help us defend this. They're working to rally on this. They said many of these kids know no other home but this country. They grew up here. They've gone to school here. Many have served
Where
our
would
nation.
they go? Anyway, I don't want to get political.
Well, they've served our nation in the military, and they deserve a chance to build lives in this nation to do what so many immigrants have done throughout our history, and that is make America even greater. Now, this is, of course, from Attorney General Jeff Sessions when he announced the end. And so it was interesting. So CNN went through a couple of different things, and they talked to Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. Now, he has a lot of these dream kids who actually work for him at Facebook, because he hires a lot of innovators and
Right.
a lot of really clever people. So they put together a study saying, what would we lose if these kids are all transferred, if they're deported from the country?
And they go who knows where.
Yeah, like for instance, Apple would lose 250 different dreamers. And so Tim Cook, the CEO there, was like, this is a terrible idea. And what they added it up, they said that the country's gross domestic product would lose over $433 billion over the next 10 years. $433 billion. Now, it's interesting, if you break it down by the state, California, probably not surprising, loses the most. But Utah, we have almost 10,000 DACA recipients here. In total, we would lose over $500 million if Trump revokes DACA.
I will say that Orrin Hatch came out in support of the Dreamers, by the way.
But he didn't come out in support of ending the against ending the legislation, but he did. So it's kind of like, at least give us an option before you dump this. I would like to see Congress actually put something in place. But 500, but think about it.
Oh, stop your shenanigans.
Over the next 10 years,
Pshaw.
if we lose our dreamers, we lose over $500 million.
And plus a bunch of nice people.
That's a lot of money, and
More
that's a lot of
importantly.
lives. Yeah.
All right, so selfies. I want to talk to you about selfies. I don't see people taking that as, maybe we just don't get out enough. But people taking selfies. One guy died. Elephant sat on him.
Yeah.
That's an elephant. That's a guy.
Not the guy.
Not the guy. This is a facsimile thereof of an elephant and a guy. The elephant was actually bigger, and the guy was not wearing a blue shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and they were trying to shoo it out of a village in India, because sometimes the elephants get off the reserves and they go into a farmer's field and they just cause havoc. I mean, just destroying stuff. So all the natives from the village came out and they're like, "Oh, jazz hands, brr," scare the elephant back into the woods where he belongs. And in the process of that, this white guy decides, this is a great opportunity for a selfie. And so basically he went back, he got close, and then he turned around and the elephant grabbed him and sat on him.
This seems to happen a lot with wild animals, and I'm not sure why you think they're going to go, oh, I didn't realize it was your cell phone. I'll stop being a wild animal.
Funny you should mention that.
Because it's just...
Deaths by selfie.
No way.
Yeah, I put a little list out here.
Okay.
Yeah. English hiker was out during a lightning storm, decided he needed his selfie stick.
So let me just review. So he took a metal rod during a lightning storm and held it up.
To get a good picture.
I see.
Another guy fell down the steps at the Taj Mahal.
Not good.
Another guy was killed by a walrus. I shouldn't be laughing.
A walrus kills you?
Yeah, big tusks and all. And
wow, you have to really
bristles.
Don't you have to really tick off a walrus to have him actually kill you?
Evidently, he's just photo shy. He just doesn't want to be done. So anyway.
No, the whole concept of the wild animal thing I've never gotten. Our brother-in-law David, it was actually from South Africa, and his family had a huge preserve there, and they had a lot of endangered species like the white rhino and a lot of other ones. But he was telling me they had one safari that went through there, and this guy got out of the Jeep and he's looking at this huge herd of elephants. There's a bull elephant standing. He goes, "My brother," and reaches out like he thinks the music from Born Free is gonna come surging out or something.
Lion King.
And like the elephant's going to, yeah, exactly. The elephant's going to embrace him. So he was instantly trampled by the elephant, and David's laughing uncontrollably while he tells me this, and I'm like, that is a horrible story. And he goes, no, let's review.
Yeah.
He gets out of the Jeep on a protected safari and
Right.
tries to go up and hug an elephant like a brother. Guess what? You're not his brother. He's an elephant.
What a great photo op, though.
Well, it's for somebody else. Here's
Yeah.
a selfie of me. That's the elephant. He's trampling my friend.
Here you go.
And then you can hashtag it, trampling my friend.
I want to tell you something good, because that was kind of a horrifying story.
I kind of think he deserved it, but go on.
Can I tell you something good?
Yes, please.
Once again, stories out of Houston. Once again, stories out of Houston. And this isn't the beginning of the storm. The storm started flooding, and they had all the damage and stuff.
The big surge of people coming out at first, like having nowhere to go.
Where did we go? And this one gentleman decided that he was going to help them. And so what he did is he went on some TV stations, and he gave out his private cell phone number. He owns 2 large furniture stores that sell mattresses.
And he's one of those local characters who does all his own commercials. He's like the
Right.
mattress guy, and he's
Right.
adorable, just really funny and sweet, and everybody just thinks he's a kook.
He went on their Facebook page. They call him Mattress Mac, by the way. So over 400 victims were taken to their 2 stores. How'd they get there, you say? They're delivery trucks. That's how.
The great big tall delivery trucks with the big...
There's people hanging
Don't you
out.
love that?
Love the sectionals. Why are these TVs fake, though? You've been to a furniture store, you know what I'm talking about. How cool is that?
I remember he was on CNN, and he wouldn't even go on, he was sort of on
It's a
camera, but he
warehouse.
wouldn't sit down and with them. He's like, I'm still working, but you can
Yeah.
follow me around. But he's like, I got all these mattresses, we're bringing a bunch more out of the warehouse. But he was perfectly happy to do it, and they ended up with, I think, well over 1,000 at each store.
Not the first time he's done this. He did this for Katrina. He did this for all these other storms that came through, and he has consistently done this.
Well, think about it. You can't sell any of that stuff afterwards either.
No.
I mean, he basically is giving up his entire inventory for people.
Ask me why his place didn't flood.
Why didn't his place flood?
Because he built it above flood level on purpose for this event.
Smart man.
Nice guy.
All right, you ready to cry from this one? Because this is pretty incredible.
I don't want to cry.
I'm going to try to do this without crying. Stranded outside in the raging waters of Hurricane Harvey, Tyler Frank is 14 years old. She was feverish and she was in terrible pain.
She has a situation. She
Yes.
has a medical issue.
She has medical issue, and she was desperately trying to think of a way to save herself and her family. She called 911. It was busy. She couldn't even get through. She
Right.
begged for help on Facebook and Instagram, which you're thinking, okay, that's smart.
Right.
And then Tyler goes, I was like, Siri's smart. Let me ask her. And so
Well, Siri on her phone?
So Siri was smart enough. With one inquiry to the Apple personal assistant, Siri called the Coast Guard. Tyler got her whole family rescued after 2 days out in the storm. Now, it happened in the nick of time. She has a genetic disorder called sickle cell anemia.
Right.
And when Harvey hit, she was suffering a crisis. Now, basically what happens is you have sort of stiff and oddly shaped red blood cells. They
Right.
clog up your blood vessels, and then they prevent oxygen from reaching parts of your body. And so, and it's extremely painful. This is like a 14-year-old girl.
She saves her family.
And the trauma and exposure to cold can also trigger the crisis. So when she woke up that morning, the water was up to her chest, nearly over her head. Her mom's getting the rest of the kids to safety, and she's holding onto her cell phone, trying to figure out what
Keeping
she can
it
do.
dry?
What she can do. So they're all there shivering in the cold, and she only had a towel, and then the towel got wet, and that's when she started making phone calls. And then the Coast Guard races up. Siri's called them, and he said, "You're a brave kid. You did just fine." And
Siri, call the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard helicopter, and they descended from the helicopter, and they said, "Is anyone sick?" And she goes, "Well, you should get my brother. He's 8." And she had 108-degree fever by then.
Wow.
And so, of course, they wedged her into the basket first and got her up. But is there nothing Siri can't do?
That is amazing.
And this little girl, I mean, you can't even imagine what she's going through, and she's thinking, what can I do to save my
right.
family?
And meanwhile, I'm trying to find a donut shop.
That's incredible. So
That
Siri,
is.
double bonus points. Coast Guard, thank you so much.
More hero stories coming up with Irma coming in now.
More and more. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah,
It reinforces
so-
your faith.
Yeah, so there you go. More-
See? There's smart and good
There you
people
go.
everywhere, and there's always Siri. These
And
are
that-
good things.
And that's a smartphone for you. You guys have a great day. It's the Todd and Erin Morning stream on GetPartDaily.com. Yeah, no, I think